Hi students, good evening. This is Ajay MNR. Today we are going to solve an important board-based question paper, which is from section B chemistry and section C physics questions. So these questions are very important for examination point of view, particularly for upcoming board exam students. We know that science questions are not giving directly from the textbook. That means no, that's there's some sort of application oriented higher order thinking type questions are giving. So if you solve these kind of questions from the beginning, then the examination will be easier for you. Otherwise, if you go traditional way of preparation, like preparing some material and some textbooks related, and textbook, of course, it's very important. We have to go through each and every line in the textbook, no doubt at all. But the way of questioning in the final exam is something different, right? So in this series, we are going to discuss questions, board based questions for every chapter for grade 10 physics and chemistry. Today we'll discuss few questions from physics and chemistry, right? Now let's see here. Here is the first question that we can see, right? The first question here is the chemical formula of ethanol is. The chemical formula of ethanol is. Option A is given CH3COH. Let's find out what are the functional groups. We know there are 7 functional groups are given in a textbook. One among them are like haloalkanes. We have haloalkanes or halogen group we have. Now second one is carboxylic acid and alcohol, ketone, aldehyde, alkenes, alkynes. Like this we have 7 functional groups. What do you mean by functional group, by the way? Right. The functional group, an atom or a group of atom that brings change in the physical properties of hydrocarbons, that's called functional group we have. Now here question number 17, the chemical formula of ethanol is. Now let us work it out. Actually here, let us work it out. Right. The first one here is COOH. The COOH is nothing but it is a carboxylic group, carboxylic acid. The second one here it is given like this is alcohol group, alcohol. Third one it is ethine or alkyne group, we can say alkyne group. And the fourth one it is alkane, like methane. It belongs to methane, right? Methane, right? CH3COH, ethanoic acid, and here C2H5OH. Here it is C2H5OH alcohol group, right? This is the answer for this question. Ethyl alcohol, it can be written like this also, CH3CH2OH. We can write like this also, CH3CH2OH, right? Now let's see the correct answer. CH3CH2OH, here the OH group, this represents alcohol group. Ethanol is nothing but ethyl alcohol, right? This is the answer, correct answer for this question. Now let's see the second question over here. Question number 2, let's see. Right. Or question number 18, right? All right. Which of the following correctly represents metal displacement reaction? Metal displacement reaction, right? The first one we have calcium carbonate, that gives rise to calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. The second one is a formation of water, and the third one it is a reaction between iron and copper sulfate solution, and fourth one is it's a reaction with acid and base, right? Neutralization reaction. Now the question here is for us, what is the metal displacement reaction? Metal displacement reaction. That means this is a type of chemical reaction, right? We have different types of chemical reactions like a combination reaction, decomposition reaction, displacement reaction, and double displacement reaction. In which, right, metal displacement. Displacement means, right, already we know that one, displacing something. That means moving something from its original position. Here, who is moving? Actually, metal is moving some other element. That means a reaction in which high reactive element displaces low reactive element from its compound. That's called metal displacement reaction. Now let us see. First of all, here the reaction should be a condition. Here it should be an element and compound reaction. An element plus compound. This reaction should be an element and a compound. But if you observe options here, first one, if you observe first one, it is just CaCO3. There is no separate element given over here. So it's a decomposition of calcium carbonate, limestone into calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. So here only compound is there, but there is no element. That's why this is not our option. Now let's go to here. It's a metal displacement is given. In option B, we have no metal here. Hydrogen and oxygen both are gaseous non-metal. So this is also not going to be your answer. Now the third one, if you observe third one, see the third one. Here we can see a metal element and a compound. Copper sulfate is a compound, right? So a reaction in which high reactive element displaces low reactive element from its compound is called metal displacement reaction, right? So let's see this one. This is the correct one. And here metal is iron is the metal which displaces copper from copper sulfate solution. That means one metal displacing another metal from its compound. Finally, it's giving a new substance called ferrous sulfate and copper. Here actually copper in its compound, but because of iron being high reactive, it displaces copper from copper sulfate, and we have iron sulfate and copper is separated out, right? Now, here actually copper sulfate color is a blue color. It's a blue color, but after reaction, the solution becomes green color. See green color to say. So this is actually metal displacement reaction, right? So let us see. So option 3 is the right one. Now let's see option 4 also. Why is it not a correct option here? What is the condition here actually for metal displacement reaction? One element, the reaction between an element and compound. But here if you observe, both sodium hydroxide and hydrochloric acid, these two are compounds. So of course this is not a metal. This is double displacement reaction, or we can say double decomposition reaction, but not metal displacement reaction. So answer for this question is option C. Option C. Iron based copper sulfate gives rise to iron sulfate and copper, right? Now let's go to the next question, number 19. In the reaction zinc plus sulfuric acid. In the reaction zinc plus sulfuric acid and zinc and hydrogen is produced, right? So what is the zinc here it is? What is the zinc here it is, right? Option A, it is given as oxidized only. Option B, reduced only. Option C, both oxidized and reduced. Option D, neither oxidized nor reduced. Now let's find out the correct option. Before that, let's find out what type of reaction it is, right? Now just now we have discussed this reaction. It's a displacement reaction. Here also, this is also displacement reaction. Here zinc replaces hydrogen from sulfuric acid, which forms zinc sulfate, and hydrogen gas is evolved out. Now the question is, in which this is also example for a redox reaction. Redox reaction. We know redox reaction, a reaction in which both oxidation and reduction reaction take place simultaneously, right? In this reaction, both oxidation and reduction reactions are there. Now, if you check what is oxidation, what is reduction reaction, generally oxidation means addition of oxygen. We say addition of oxygen, addition of oxygen, or removal of hydrogen is called oxidation. Then reduction means addition of hydrogen or removal of oxygen. It's a general formula, general definition for oxidation and reduction. But in terms of metals, right here we have different definitions. According to this one, this reaction, oxidation means loss of electrons. Oxidation means loss of electrons. Reduction means gain of electrons. Gain of electrons. Now the question is, who will lose the electron? Who loses an electron? Generally, metals they lose electrons, then they form cations. Now who gains electrons? Actually, non-metals, they gain electrons and they form anions, right? Now listen carefully here. Now metals loses their electron to maintain octet electronic configuration. Now see, for example, metal loss of electrons is called oxidation, right? Loss of electrons is called oxidation. That means if any metal loses its electron, valence electrons particularly, if any atom loses its electron, that means it undergoes oxidation reaction. It undergoes oxidation reaction, or it is oxidized, we can say. It is oxidized, right? The one which receives electrons here, that gain of electrons is called reduced. It is called reduced. Here zinc loses electrons, and whereas hydrogen receives those electrons. Zinc loses electron and hydrogen receives electron, right? Hydrogen ions, they receive electrons, right? How it is here? Zinc, by losing electron, it becomes Zn plus 2, and hydrogen, right, 2 hydrogen, and on receiving electrons they become as H2, right? One is losing electron, the another one is gaining electron, right? Now here the one which loses electrons, that is said to be oxidized, and the one which receives electron, that is said to be reduced, right? And so according to this rule or this formula, we can say here zinc loses electron to hydrogen ion. So that's why zinc is oxidized. Zinc is oxidized only. Then who is reduced? Actually, in the question what is asked, zinc, what is the zinc? Zinc is oxidized only, right? Now who is reduced? Hydrogen is reduced only. Am I right? Am I right? But in the whole, as a reaction, here both oxidation as well as reductions are taken place. That's why this is called redox reaction, we can say. Clear? Now here zinc, the one which loses electron, which is oxidized, but that one is reducing agent. We have to understand this one. The one which loses electron, is oxidized or undergoes oxidation, and that helps in the reduction. That's why it is called reducing agent. That means all metals in their neutral form or reducing agents after losing electrons. But the one which receives electrons, that is called oxidizing agent. Here zinc is reducing agent, whereas hydrogen is oxidizing agent, right? Now the answer for our question is This is the answer for a question. Right. Now the question number 20, let's see. Question number 20. The IUPAC name of CH3, CH2, CHO. IUPAC means what? International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry, right? This is the organization that gives the name for different compounds, right? Here this question is about carbon and its compounds. This is from a chapter called Carbon and its compound, and particularly from nomenclature. The topic is called nomenclature. Now we have functional group. In question number 17 we have seen four kind of functional group. Here we have, this is carboxylic acid, this is alcohol, this is alkyne group. Different functional groups we have seen, right? Similarly here, which is not mentioned something here, right? If you have any compound and its last carbon with CHO, any carbon compound whose last carbon is with or is as CH2O, right? This belongs to aldehyde group. CHO, remember here, if you see here, last carbon which contain COOH, here last carbon, no, if you write this like this, CH3 CH2OH, last carbon contain CH2OH. OH is clearly which contains, we have here CHO. Here the difference is, here last carbon contains CH2OH, so two extra hydrogens are there, but here CHO, that is example for that belongs to aldehyde group. Now while you naming this the carbon compound which belongs to aldehyde group, now the first two letters of, right, that to be added to the functional group, right? First of all, since it has 3 carbon atoms, we have to know that it belongs to a prop, and since all are single bonds over here, it belongs to propane, for example. How to name this one? That's why we're learning here. Propane. Actually, if there is no CHO, if last carbon has CH3, for example, this is the structure, CH3, CH2, CH3. But here functional group is there, CHO group is there. Then what should we do? And we have this propane, it should be changed into different name. How do we do that different? Here, see here, to change this one, right? To change this one, CHO, propane, last E, the last letter E, which should be replaced by first two letters of aldehyde group, right? These first two letters we have to add in the place of E. Now it becomes propanol. What is that? Propanol. Propane becomes propanol because of the functional group, aldehyde functional group. So the correct option here is propanol. Or we can say propanaldehyde. Propanol or propanaldehyde also we can name this one, right? Now let's move to the next question. Now propanone structure, propanone structure, CH3 CO CH3 propanone. Propanol means that is CH3 CH2 CH2OH. Propanoic acid means CH3 CH2 COOH. These are the structures of different. Here propanone, this belongs to ketone group. Propanol belongs to aldehyde group. Propanol, this belongs to alcohol group. Propanoic acid, which belongs to carboxylic acid, right? Now the question correct answer here is Propanol. Option B, propanol or propanaldehyde is the right answer. Now, let's see the question number 21. Which property of carbon enables it to form a large number of carbon compounds? A large number. Now let's see tetravalency alone or catenation alone. Now both catenation and tetravalency and high electronegativity we are looking over here, and high electronegativity also we can see. Just a minute. Right, children. Children, look here. Right. Now let's find out, let's check one by one option. So while solving MCQ plays very crucial role in a board exam, because if you lose one MCQ, then you will lose 1 mark directly. You will be at 99. You will lose centum also. So MCQs or assertion and reason type questions, you have to answer 100% correct. Right. Now let's see. What is the secret behind answering exactly is we have to go question number of times. First of all, we have to understand the question. Then we have to go all options, option by option. Right. But it should be speed and accuracy. Now let's see which property of carbon enables it to form a large number of compounds. Now first of all, the question is large number of carbon compounds. If you see here, some carbon compounds, they have number of carbon atoms present in them like this. Number of, here I give only 7, but hundreds of carbon atoms are there in a carbon compounds. Now what is the problem? No other atom can form such a long carbon compounds, large carbon compounds like carbon makes. What makes carbon so special? What makes carbon so special? The first thing is it's a tetravalency. It's tetravalency. First of all, we have to understand it is a tetravalency. Because here carbon, which has 4 valence electrons around it, that means it forms 4 bonds with 4 different kinds of atoms. Like that, every carbon atom that forms 4 bonds with 4 different types of atoms. Second thing is, and catenation. Second thing is catenation. Catenation means what? The same thing. Catenation is the phenomena which enables carbon to form large number of compounds. That means many carbons, they connect with each other by covalent bond. By a covalent bond, this is called catenation. So these two are most important things for carbon to form large number of carbons. I think you are all clear about this one, right? So here options are given. Tetravalency alone, no. Catenation alone, no. Both tetravalency or tetravalence and catenation, these two phenomena make carbon compound or carbon as so special in the nature that forms a huge number of, like a diamond, and a small piece of diamond which has some millions of carbon atoms present in that one. And graphite also, a small piece of graphite which has some millions of carbon atoms present in them. All carbon atoms are linked one another by covalent bond. This property is called catenation. Not only catenation here, tetravalency also help in this phenomenon, right? This is our answer is both catenation and tetravalence, right? Now let's move to the next question, number 22 here. Question number 22 here, right? Rancidity in food products can be prevented by. It's very easy question. Most of you, I think, many times we have come across this question. So anyway, let's see what are the options given over here. Rancidity in food. Rancidity means what? Rancidity means oxidation of fats and oils. Oxidation of fats and oils, right? So if you leave fats and oils for a longer time, they react with oxygen, they get oxidized, they get spoiled. That's why your oils and food items, right? Like potato chips and all, which are fried in a oil and all, no, will be flushed with nitrogen gas. Actual nitrogen gas is a inert gas which will not allow the oil present in the chips or food react with atmospheric oxygen. It prevents oxidation. Oxidation means spoiling of food item, right? Now let's see the answers. Adding on antioxidants, right? Replacing oxygen with nitrogen. This is one option. Keeping food at high temperature and adding excess water, exposing food to sunlight, right? Now let's see one by one. Option D, exposing food to sunlight. Definitely certain foods we can dry, like fishes and all can be dried, but not not cooked food item, it will be spoiled. Adding excess water, that also leads to the spoilage of the food. And option B, keeping food at high temperature, it is also good for food, but the answer is option A, adding antioxidants and replacing oxygen with nitrogen. There are some antioxidants, those prevent oxidation of food item. Food packets or food containers should be replaced with should be added with antioxidants, and the oxygen present in the container or cover or pack, that should be replaced with the nitrogen. Now now let's move to the assertion reason type questions. Right, assertion reason type questions. C, if both assertion and reason are true, then we have to go for option A. If both are true but R is not correct explanation of A, then we have to go to B. Assertion is true but reason is false, we have to go for C. Assertion is false but reason is true, we have to go for D. Now the question here is question number 23. Now the burning of magnesium ribbon in air is an example of a combination reaction. Reason, in a combination reaction, a single product is formed from two or more substances. Now let's see burning of a magnesium ribbon. Burning of any substance that undergoes combustion reaction, it's because of oxidation, right? When magnesium reacts with oxygen, it forms magnesium oxygen oxide in the presence of heat, right? When magnesium reacts with oxygen, it produces magnesium oxide, right? Here magnesium in the presence of heat, it reacted with oxygen, it forms magnesium oxide, metal oxide is produced. Here magnesium and oxygen, these two are two reactants, but single product is produced. So here two reactants, they combine together to form a product. So assertion is correct only. Now reason, if you see reason, in a covalent reaction, in a combination reaction, a single product is formed from two or more substances. Yes, that's also true. Single product is formed, but from two substances. So here reason is explaining assertion very clearly. That's why we have to go for option A. Option A is the right answer. Right. Now let's move to the next question. Question number 24. Let's move. Question number 24. Now, assertion is given here. Covalent compounds generally have low melting and boiling point. This is because of covalent bond only. If you take ionic compound, they have high melting and high boiling point, since strong ionic bond is there between two ions. But covalent compound, generally they are made up of covalent bond. This covalent bond is formed by sharing of electrons between two non-metals. So that's why it's a somewhat weaker than ionic bond, which has low melting point. Easily we can melt them and we can boil them. That's true only. Now the reason, if you see reason, covalent compounds are formed by sharing of electrons That's true. Sharing of electrons, that's true. And have strong intermolecular force. This is the wrong statement. They have they have sharing of electrons, but they have no strong intermolecular force. They have actually weak intermolecular force. That's why this reason is the wrongest reason. So assertion is right, reason is wrong. That's why option is option C is the right answer here. Option C is the right answer here. So this is, my dear students, today we have discussed almost from 17 to 24, almost 8 questions, 8 MCQs. These all questions are board based, CBSE board based question, right? So like this I'll be uploading board based questions and their solutions. Please watch the website, watch this all channel, and please subscribe it, support it, and share it. And if you have your share with your friends, and please like it. Thank you for watching. We'll meet in another class with remaining board based questions. Thank you. Have a nice day.